Hi everybody, my name is Chef Lee and welcome back to the Born Bites Kitchen. Today I'm going to be going through a couple of really quick and simple desserts for you, just so that we can give you a really simple idea of how to do something quick for the children and for yourself. So we're going to be making a blackberry sorbet and a homemade summer fruit jelly. So we'll make the sorbet first, just because it's really simple. You just need to blend 3 ingredients together, put it in the tub, in the freezer, and it's done. So here I have 750 grams of low-fat natural yogurt. I have 600 grams of frozen blackberries. Now this can be any fruit you want. It can be blackberries, summer fruit, raspberries, blueberries, pineapple. This works for any fruit, so this is a really versatile dish, as with most of the things we do. And I also have 60 grams of clear honey, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. So really simple process. So we're going to put the yogurt straight into the food processor, so 750 grams. And a whole bag of blackberries, so 600 grams for this. Now frozen fruit is the way forward, because the frozen fruit will freeze the yogurt, and I'm going to give that a blend first. Okay, so now that's started, I'm just going to add the honey. So a little tip, honey can be, when it's cold, it's a bit hard to pour, so I have actually heated this up just so it runs out nice and quick. So 60 grams of honey, just to give it that little bit of sweetness. I don't mind my sorbets quite sharp, so I'm not too fussed about the honey, but again, if you like a bit sweeter, then just throw in some more honey, not a problem. And then we're going to re-blitz. So this could be ready to eat within 10 minutes of putting it in the freezer. If you've got lots of fruit, you can add more fruit if you wish. You could almost be ready to eat straight away. But I'm going to pop this in a dish, put it in the freezer, and hopefully after an hour, should be ready to go. So if you don't like your fruit, I mean, this has got some chunky bits of fruit, which I quite like. If you don't like that, then just blend it a little bit more so it's all nice and smooth. I don't mind the seeds because I think it just adds to the texture. But again, if you want to, you can strain the mix. And it's as simple as that. So there is our sorbet pre-freezer. So we're just going to pop that in the freezer now for at least an hour just to help it set. And then it's all ready for you to go. Okay, so now our sorbet is in the freezer setting. We're going to move on to our fruit jelly. So for this, I've got 750 grams of mixed fruit. I've also got some extra fruit for decoration, which you'll see when we actually put the jelly in the pots to set. I've got some 100% pure apple juice, and for this I need 400 millilitres, and 2 sachets of veggie gel. So I'm using the vegetarian version of the setting agent. You can use the gelatine, but that's entirely your choice. This stuff, it sets just as well as the normal stuff, so it doesn't hurt. Now I've actually used frozen fruit that I've defrosted to make this jelly. You can use fresh fruit if it's better. You can use any fruit you want. But yeah, for the purpose of this, I've gone down the frozen route. It's easier to get hold of this time of year. So what I'm going to do first is get our apple juice in the saucepan, warming up, just because I need this to be hot to dilute the gelatine into. So I'll do that now. And all you need is for the actual apple juice to be brought to the boil. So we'll put the lid on that and let that warm up. For the fruit side, now I have defrosted this fruit because I need to blend it just to sort of take out some of the seeds and to actually flavour the jelly a little bit more. So if it's fresh fruit, obviously you don't need to defrost it. So all you need to do is add your fruit to your blender, making sure you get all the juice in, and blend this into a fine pulp. So just check it's all blended together. I will give it another blast just to make sure. Now I've chosen summer fruits because I like the sharp flavours that you get from this. You get a brilliant colour. So when it comes to jelly, they will look fantastic. If you want to go down the route of some other fruit, like I said, mango will be brilliant for this. You can just peel your mango, slice it up, blend it in the processor. Frozen fruit might be better if you defrost it because it's already been prepped for you, so it just makes this a really quick dish to make. So here's our blended fruit. And that's all ready to go. So now our apple juice is boiling. What we're going to do is we're going to dilute the veggie gel in the apple juice, so that's why we need it to boil. And then we're going to add the fruit to the juice, give it a couple minutes to cool down, then we'll set it in our moulds. So now the apple juice is boiling, we're going to put these in. Now it's 2 sachets for this amount of liquid and with that amount of fruit. So just sprinkle it into the apple juice. So 1, 2. So this is our setting agent, and we'll give that a good whisk. And just make sure it all dissolves in the juice. So if you do get the little lumps in, just keep it boiling and keep whisking, and they will slowly disperse. There we go. So if we were to set that right now, we'd have really thick apple jelly, which we don't want. Okay, so bring this over to the table. And now we're going to add our fruit to our apple juice. Again, if you're not a fan of apple juice, you can use orange juice, but it will be cloudy. That's not a bad one. Or pomegranate juice makes a good one to use as well, if you like the pomegranate juice. So it doesn't have to be apple. So we're going to whisk that together. You're just looking for a liquid to dilute the jelly so that you can add the fruit to set it. Now the fruit is cold and the apple is hot, so we just want to keep that going for a second and then give that just a few minutes to cool down, because if I pour that straight into our cups, it's going to melt the cups. So we just want that just to cool down for a few minutes. Now what I'm going to do for decoration is I've also kept some frozen fruit separate. So I'm going to put this in the bottom of our cups, and that means that when you turn these out, they will have the nice fruit hopefully on the top. So again, just a selection of the frozen fruit that I use, so we'll put some in each one. And because these are still frozen, they will help the jelly set a little bit quicker. There we go. Okay, so we'll keep mixing this just to make sure it doesn't cool down too quickly. And we'll just give that a few minutes to cool down a bit more. Okay, so after a couple of minutes, our mix is ready to be put into our moulds. Doesn't have to be cups, I've just done that so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. Now, if you don't like all the seeds that comes from the fruit, after you've blended the fruit, you can pass it through a sieve. That'll take out all the seeds and all the bits, and then you're left with the pure juice. So that's entirely your preference. So all we're going to do is pour this mix between the 4 cups. There we go, that's one. Put some more in each one. These are nice sized desserts. And then we're simply going to put these in the fridge and allow them for at least an hour to set. So here are our jellies. Now these shouldn't take long to set. It should be just enough time for the jelly to go cold. So depending on how warm they were when they went in, so it can be an hour, it can be a couple of hours, but you'll know when they're set because you can tell straight away they're not liquid anymore. So what we're going to literally do is, because we've got some fruit on the bottom of the cup, we're literally just going to hopefully turn this out. I'm going to use my hands just to warm it up a little, and it should just come out. There we are. Now, because we've used veggie gel, they're not set solid like a normal jelly, which is why you've got a little bit of there's a little bit slack in there, but that's absolutely fine. So we've got our fresh fruit set jelly. So now what I'll do is the sorbet, I'll grab that from the freezer and we'll see how that's getting on. There we go. So while mixing this up, you would notice that the frozen fruit actually sets the yogurt. So this can be ready to use almost instantly, or if you want the sorbet to be a little bit firmer, just pop it in the fridge for half an hour or an hour, depending on how firm you like it. I wouldn't necessarily leave it overnight because it will set solid because of the water content within the yogurt. So like I said, it's a good one to do for prep. If you're doing like a dinner party, then this is perfect of one to do a couple hours beforehand. It will set plenty. So we'll just check this one out. So it's a soft set. It's like basically it's kind of like a soft set ice cream. We'll put that in our dish. There we go. So we have our frozen sorbet and our fresh fruit jelly. Enjoy.